Morning. We are here today coming and looking at this herd of goats here and watch them grazing in the fields. They have a lot of food stuff here eating today. One of the things that I noticed is that this herd has Boer crosses and Nubian crosses and so forth. I also saw something inside here. I saw a Sani cross. So this is quite a nice little herd of goats here. They are now grazing in the fields and eating the grass and eating all the forages, climbing the trees. Look at them climbing the trees over there. They are literally up in the trees, tearing it down. It's not unusual to see goats climbing the trees and actually going inside the trees and eat it. But you tend to find that bigger animals like Boer and Nubian don't climb the tree as well as a native will. And look at those birds flying by. They usually eat ticks and stuff off some of the animals. Very nice. Morning. Trevor Bernard here, come to do some small ruminants business. Today we were looking at some of the goats out at the front and we are now going to have a look at this facility. I wanted to show some of the farmers. So now let's have a look at this pen. This pen here is about 5 feet tall off the ground. And I don't think it has ever been cleaned yet. It is probably here over 2 years, running this facility like that. As you can see, they use this hog mesh and put around it, stop the goats from going under the bottom. But if you look at the manure that is under there, it has never been cleaned. There are some farmers who are encouraging people to use concrete floor to put in their facility, which is a no-no. I think it's even better to have them on dirt than to have them on a concrete floor. Now, if you look at this, if this pen can be here for the next 5 years and you never clean under here. And when you do decide that you're going to clean this pen, all you're going to have is manure that you can use in your vegetable garden. As a matter of fact, this is marketable. They can probably bag this at some point and sell it to the flower shop and to farmers to use as fertilizer for the farm. Now, this is a slatted floor facility, a very huge facility. I think it's about 200 feet by 40 feet wide. And let us take a look inside. But mainly the thing that I wanted to show people is that when you use slatted floors, you cut down on the amount of work that you are using to operate the facility. You don't need a lot of workers to do cleaning. You don't need a lot of workers to clean the floor because the floor usually self-clean itself. And the hygiene and the cleanliness, when a lot of rain is falling, this area is in St. Mary. They have a lot of rain all the time. The goats don't have to be in the mud and, internal parasites, external parasites is a big problem in these wet environments. So slatted floor is the best way to go. You have these wooden slatted floors and you also have plastic slatted floors. A lot of the piggeries and so forth use it, but it's also very popular with goat rearing. So let us take a look at this floor and take a look at the housing here. So this is the walkway coming up to this goat pen. As I tell you, this floor is about maybe 5 to 6 feet tall. And the goats were let out this morning. They're gone grazing. And if you look at the condition of this floor, this has not been cleaned. Nothing has been done to this. This probably have not been cleaned in a long time, and you can see what happens here. The facility remains fairly clean, and you're not going to have infestation in a pen like this. So this pen is parted off into 2 areas. This area looks like about 10 feet wide, the other one maybe 20 feet wide, and it has a passageway maybe about 5 feet wide. I'm just guessing these measurements, but this is a huge facility. Very, very huge. The feeding troughs are on the other side, on the both sides of the pen. And if you look at this slatted floor, you see that the spacing, they have about half-inch spacing between the floors. And, you know, inside here is clean. Look here, camera. There's also a camera system. Look there. There's cameras inside of this pen. They also have electric fence surrounding the pen. And they feed the water now in buckets. They also have their mineral feeders on the side. They use those small end cap, plumbing end cap, to feed the minerals to the animals. You know, it's quite a walk, walking in a pen that is so long, you know. It's so huge. Now, one of the things that I encourage with these facilities is best to just have one pen and just continue running the pen down. That when you're working inside a pen like this, you just continue feeding and looking after the animals. You don't have to come out the pen. Sometimes, I see farmers, sometimes they build one pen here and build another pen there, and they build another small pen there and another one there, and they might have 3, 4, 5, 6 different pens all over the place. Now, sometimes the land don't allow you to have one big facility, but when you have the opportunity, it's best to have all the pens connected together, that you can walk from one pen to the other. When you're feeding, when you're looking after the animals, it's not a good idea to have separate pens. It's always good to have the pens somehow having a way to enter from one pen to the other. And also, I even believe that we can even be doing multiple floor pens and so forth, but that's another topic entirely. Because you can have 2-story and 3-story, things like that can happen if you build this facility strong enough in the beginning to do that. So let us have a look now. There is 2 sides to this pen. We're going to have a look at the other side of this pen. Some animals are actually over here, and they have the young kids on that side. I'm here over the other side of the facility, and I'm here. I just met Karen. Karen is currently looking after some of these kids and some of these animals over this side. And when you look, they have some young kids here. And Karen, one of the things, we were just having a discussion about why is it so much better to use women to look after the kids on the farm. And Karen was wondering, I always tell people that it's best to use women to look after the kids. And you do understand why? Because women have this nurturing ability. Yes. They naturally know how to feed the kids and take care of the kids. And you have to remember that these young kids or lamb that you have on your facility is the profit. This is what you usually sell to make the profit. So if you take good care of these young kids, you need to try your best to keep all of these young kids alive. That's the key to this thing. And when you move your herd up to 100, 2, 3, 4, 500, this is very difficult to do, to keep these kids alive, because you're going to see kids born in all over the place, and it becomes complicated. You have to master, you have to really master the ability to look after the kids when they're born. And that's why you need to start small, Karen, and grow and get the understanding. So she's new here, she's here 3 weeks. So I think she's going to learn.
Yes, I am.
And you know, the animals look okay. I mean, very, very nice. So as usual, this is also a very long, huge facility on this side. They have 2 of them here, and they seem to have half of the herd out grazing. And she keep these inside here mainly because of the young kids who are feeding.
These are my
And this is here is this her fattening stock. She's growing. That's a nice little ram there. This is the fattening stock that they have here. And these are some young toddlers. Okay, you have weaned these off?
Yes.
Oh, these have all been weaned off here now and they're growing them out. And you know, Karen, I must tell you, one of the challenges with goat farming, a lot of people don't know, but it's really to find people who want work. It's hard to find people who want work in Jamaica. People might not believe that, but you have to dedicate yourself to it. So if you are doing this goat rearing thing, you have to dedicate yourself to it. You have to put everything in it because it's a night and day job.
Yes, it is.
You understand? When a goat is kidding
season,
and when there are, you know, some sick ones sometimes and you have problems, you have to be there for them.
Yes,
You really.
Winners.
These are some more wieners here.
Yes, these are the winners.
Okay, these are all bucks here.
Yeah.
Yes. You have to spend time with the animal and you have to really take care of them and you know, make sure everyone stays alive. And the key to this goat farming thing, people, is that as long as you feed the animals well and have good husbandry practices, you know, have a facility like this, you know, where they can reinfect themselves from the feces. Everything just drop through, clean water, clean facilities. Make sure they have the roughage in their diet, meaning, you know, like grasses and so forth. Then you will be very successful at doing this, because you know you really need to keep all these kids alive, which is so very important. And sometimes you have mothers might reject the kids. You have to bottle feed them. You have mothers might have 3 or 4. She can only feed 2. Sometimes you have to bottle feed them. You know, you have to learn how to do everything. So Karen, it was nice to see you up here with these animals. I can see you have your hands full.
Yes, sir.
And you have help.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have free drink coming with me here.
Okay. Who's going to help you today?
Yes.
Alright. So generally I wanted to show people what a facility looks like, what you should be aiming for. You know, the manure control. This is very simple. You don't have a lot of cleaning work. So most of the work that you're going to be doing in facilities like this will be to take care of the animals, to make sure of the well-being of the animals are good at all times. And that's the key to it. And as I said before, once you feed them well, take good care of them, make sure you do everything for them, and pay attention to every animal. Look at the feces when it's coming out. Look at, you know, check their general body condition on a regular basis. You have to also cut the hoof regularly when you have them in facilities like this. Once you follow all those things, you will have a very productive herd and you can make good money out of goat rearing. Thank you all for continue watching my channel. Please continue to subscribe and I'll continue bringing new and exciting things to this channel. Bye bye. Karen?
Thank you.
All right.